Imagine a world where the best independent and unsigned artists could be found all in one spot. A digital world where drifters can wander in and see these originators, regardless of genre, playing their music just for them. Imagine a world free of hollow music. Well, I've found that world. Welcome to the grid. Welcome to the grid. What's going on, drifters? Exclusively unsigned originators only.
Welcome back, drifters. So excited to have you out there with us. You are on the grid with operatorlex, the premier digital playground for Sonic Scout Radio, where originators, independent, unsigned, have a place to build and grow, and I am just stoked to have you with us. We're picking up where our earlier part one left off, and we have a brilliant set list to continue our show. We have The Cost of Life. We have Major Moment, Midas 22, Autumn White, just a great segment for you out there. Now that you've gotten a feel for the show through part one, I think we're just going to go ahead and push on through. We're going to start at The Summit. The Summit is a segment that's all about music that honors God. We here at The Grid, we really want to have every genre of music, and I love the opportunity to have artists that are in that niche realm where we're gonna, take a moment to provide music that honors God in some way. And then we're going to push back onto Horizon, where Cost of Life and Autumn White have some magnificent tracks in the synthwave and retro-wave genres. And then we're going to rock out hard with Midas 22 and Major Moment. Let's push on over to The Summit. When the World Was New by The Cost of Life actually is inspired by the book of Genesis, which I find very, very interesting. So I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm going to let y'all hear it. There's a brilliant call to action here. And you know what? It honors God in a great way. Just check this out. When the World Was New by The Cost of Life.
In a day when the world was new, we lost our way and the darkness grew. Paradise got away and we all went astray. Never again would the skies be so blue, so blue, so blue.
the World Was New by The Cost of Life. I love it. I do. As a Christian myself, I love to get those songs that, throw up a hand to God. And, I even want some actual worship music, specifically worship. So if you're an independent, unsigned artist out there, if you got music like the song you just heard, or if you got something that is specifically from the church or from yourself that you're just paying your homage to God, I want to hear it. I want the world to hear it. Reach out to me, operatorlex, at operatorlex@sonicscoutradio.com, or hit me up on any one of my social media platforms on X, Instagram, Facebook. Message me. I respond, and we can talk about having your music live on the air. All right, so we're ready to push on over to Horizon, where we are going to continue with The Cost of Life, and we're going to get to a retro-wave artist that I absolutely love, Autumn White. Let's head over to Horizon. Okay, drifters, nothing but originators here, no hollow music. Welcome back to Horizon, the EDM synthwave electronic genre. And we're going to continue with The Cost of Life. This is one of the realms that he is highly inspired by. And then we're going to push on over to Autumn White. Then we're going to go completely retro there. Super stoked about it. So let's go ahead and kick it off with The Cost of Life. This is House on the Sand.
He walked in shadows never shown, echoes in the night, haunting thoughts entwined, the ghosts of years past, all undefined. Can't understand why all the time that passed him by now is gone in a house left on the sand. It's too late when it's gone. Too late when it's of his passions not pursued, the safer things in life kept his heart and love subdued. Now he's never gonna know how far he could have gone. Always scared to take a chance, like his father always warned. You can throw it all away around the comforts of this world. What will you say it's worth?
Drifters, we are vibing out to The Cost of Life. We're going to keep on pushing with The Cost of Life one more time. We got Big Dreams. Once again, The Cost of Life.
Hidden from the shadows, that the perfect life is all that matters. Gonna play another game tonight. Big dreams, they always seem to make it happen, and I just wanna be distracted by my own imaginary light.
I'm sleeping in the rain. Nothing to show. Only my self-inflicted pain.
Silent just the other night, standing in the alleyway under Central Boulevard. Shaking from the start, and she knew it in her heart. The man of lies had them tight in his control. He always said that they could be the stars for all the world to see. The endless possibility. Who's really in control? We cannot see the one behind the scenes. We're all just on the strings.
I'm sleeping in the rain. Nothing to show. Only my self-inflicted pain. I'm sleeping in the rain. Nothing to show. Only my self-inflicted pain.
Just like me, in the in-between is when no one sees that you show it. They're never gonna see who you really are, cause it's hidden in the walls and you know it. Now I'm gonna forget who I thought you were, and I'm pushing forward till I make it.
Cost of Life. I mean, if you're not feeling him, check your pulse. I mean, just that's energy right there. And I'm super stoked that he reached out. I mean, he's got great stuff. Definitely check him out on social media. Make sure you use the $ when you put in cost. He had something to say about that on our interview. But speaking of which, go to YouTube, check out the operatorlex YouTube channel, where you can hear him talk about his inspirations as an artist and get to know him a little bit more. You will not be sorry. Continuing to push on through Horizon, we have Autumn White, brilliant retro wave artist. I do not want to hold off on this one, so we're going to go ahead and get on to Autumn White with Do Anything to Be Famous.
Intelligent opinions. He's got the most. He always wants to be center of the conversation. Instead, he's just a ghost. Would you do anything? Would you do anything? Would you do anything to be famous? He spends his nights reading books about important people, so he can tell you what they thought. The coolest songs from the artists that he wants to be like. He could have made it, but that's what he thought. Would you do anything? Would you do anything? Would you do anything to be famous? Would you do anything? Would you do anything? Would you do anything to be famous? Would you be anyone if you thought that they would care? Would you sell your soul if they follow you anywhere? Would you do anything? Would you do anything? Would you do anything to be famous? Would you do anything? Would you do anything? Would you do anything to be famous? Would you do anything? Would you do anything? Would you do anything to be famous? Would you do anything? Would you do anything? Would you do anything to be famous?
I'm telling you, listening to Autumn White, I mean, once again, Do Anything to Be Famous by Autumn White. Listening to him, it just brings me back to like Grand Theft Auto, Vice City. And we're going to continue that vibe. This is That Song from Your Childhood by Autumn White.
It's all an illusion, a manufactured dream.
song from your childhood by Autumn White. You know, it's actually really interesting. We actually had a moment. We got to connect for an interview, and when asked about where he drew his inspirations from as an artist, where his musical journey started, he had this to say, and it had to do with his childhood.
So growing up in the 80s, I always listened to my mum's music. She had a big, I guess this is kind of a typical story, but she had a big a big drawer full of cassette tapes, records and stuff. And so growing up, like the first music I ever heard was all the classic 80s music, Depeche Mode, Erasure, Eurythmics, Soft Cell, OMD, Michael Jackson, all those kind of classic 80s bands. And that's the first music I ever heard. So I absolutely fell in love with music from that time on, you know.
Okay, that makes sense. Did you have a favorite?
Well, actually, I wanted to mention my friend in middle school gave me this tape, and it was called Electric Dreams, and it was just a kind of compilation of synth pop and kind of new romantic stuff. And that particular sound, I really fell in love with that sound. And so definitely like Tears for Fears, I'm huge on them. Flock of Seagulls, of course, Soft Cell, Gary Newman, Ultravox. Yeah, it's hard to pick a particular favorite, but that beautiful kind of 80s synth pop sound is what I love.
And we love it here too on the grid. So I'm going to go ahead and let Autumn White finish out his set. This next one is called Any Other Reason. And remember to check out the interview on the operatorlex YouTube channel.
In the cold, in the flashing lights, I felt the breath leave my body that night. Yeah, I looked down and I saw myself. The strangest feeling that I've ever felt. 'Cause I'm this familiar. You laughed without a sound, and now you're crying, saying you can't replace what's left when I'm not around. When I'm not around, will I die for any other reason? As I lay in the snow tonight, and I can't think of any other reason why the lights staying in my eyes. Take all of these letters, I wrote them from my heart. I was always too scared to share my feelings when I was alive. Is it too late to start? Too late to start? Will I die for any other reason? As I lay in the snow tonight, and I can't think of any other reason why the lights staying in my eyes. Looking at my life through a broken mirror, head into the light, head into the light. Any other reason to lay here forever, lay here forever. In the cold, in the flashing lights, I felt the breath leave my body that night. Yeah, I looked down and I saw myself. The strangest feeling that I've ever felt. In the cold, in the flashing lights, I felt the breath leave my body that night. I looked down and I saw myself. The strangest feeling that I've ever felt. Tell me the things I never wanted to know. To know, to know, to know. Tell me the things I never wanted to know. To know. In the cold, in the flashing lights. In the cold, in the flashing lights. The strangest feeling that I've ever felt.
Autumn White, finishing us out strong for the Horizon set. Like I said, check him out, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. The guy's got great stuff, and if you want a retro vibe, he's going to give it to you, and he's going to give it to you well. All right, so now we're going to move on to Casmania, our rock set, and we have two bands that are going to rock out real hard and steal the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Drifters, Casmania. Casmania. This is our rock set. We have two magnificent bands for you. Minus 22 is based out of South Carolina. They do all kinds of shows, throughout the South Carolina, North Carolina, and maybe even Georgia region. Not 100% sure. But they've got some great stuff, and they rock real hard. Wasn't able to get them for an interview yet. Maybe there'll be a late addition to the after party. But definitely check out their stuff. They're on Instagram. They're on Facebook. And let me just, get you ready for it. There's really nothing can get you ready for it. They rock out so hard, but I will say they sound really good. If you're into rock, this is Minus 22.
I can't stop my it's okay. Make this crash out fucking good. You can't stand where he's at. You are never there. I will trace some footsteps to your everything surrounding me, slowly suffocating me. Delusional ideals of how it's supposed to be. Why does this always for everything that's happened, God will have your
Yeah. Now that is rock. That was Minus 22. And let me tell you, they came out swinging, and I have to pick up a few people off the ground here because, yeah, man, if you're in their way, they're taking you down for sure. So that leads me to my final band for the evening, and I have to say I am super duper stoked to bring them to you today. You know, I was given the knowledge of this band by my wife while she was kind of helping me find artists to reach out to. And I have to say, in talking about this during the Starcadian tribute, when artists are quick to reach out to a fan about stuff like this, you know that they're coming from a humble background with a big heart. And I can tell you right now, during this interview that I had with Major Moment, you get a feel for it. I mean, they are a genuine group. The leads are from Russia, and they actually met in the States. But while discussing the concept of being an independent artist and what it's like to kind of swim with sharks in the industry, I let it be known that, you have to have a good team if you're trying to survive out here. And, if you ever do go into the music industry, it's all about having a team, right? You need a music lawyer, an entertainment lawyer. You need the right producers, the right photographers, the right cinematographers. And they didn't skip a beat. This is what they had to say.
We're working on building one, and I feel like it's a never-ending process because the team will keep expanding, right, as it should. If we're comparing an independent band's operation to a label, right? A big label has different departments, right? And like, so do we, except Sasha is ahead of like 7 departments, Andre is ahead of like 7 departments, right? So in each department, it might be 1 or 2 people operation when it comes to Major Moment, but we also have other creatives who help us. And we're super grateful for their support, notably our producer, Kevin Billingsley, that has been working with us since our first EP in 2017, right? And then we also went and recorded one-off single with Dave Cowell, who's the producer of Sleep Theory, and just recently worked with the bands like Skillet and Nevertell and like Starset, right? And such an amazing dude.
And I will say it was amazing hearing that they have a good team. It sounds like they have their business mind in the right place. So without further ado, I'm going to start playing some music. This is a Major Moment live on the grid for Sonic Scout Radio.
To give you everything, one thing.
Major Moment. That was Toxic. And now we're going on to Victim. This is from their album, The Pain That Makes Us Grow. Major Moment on the Grid.
Memories and thoughts of what could have been, drowning your misery like tidal waves. Cold immersion to the depths of your existence, where you indulge in chasing yesterday. Stop looking back, breathing the air of the past. You're the victim of your whole life passing by. No harm, no foul, nobody's gonna cry. Nostalgia drags you down the rabbit hole. The bittersweet intoxication wearing off. Rough awakening from the same mistakes you're making will leave you wondering if you've had enough. Stop looking back, breathing the air of the past. You're the victim of your whole life passing by. No harm, no foul, nobody's gonna cry. Lost in the haystack and the loop, wasting away, filled with decay swallowing you. Running the red lights into a dead end, here the headlights get distracted. Stop looking back, breathing the air of the past. You're the victim of your whole life passing by. No harm, no foul, nobody's gonna cry. Stop looking back, breathing the air of the past. You're the victim of your whole life passing by. No harm, no foul, nobody's gonna cry. Lost in the haystack in a loop, wasting away, filled with decay swallowing you. Riding the red lines into a dead end, here the headlights get distracted.
We are just rocking out with Major Moment right now on the Grid, Sonic Scout Radio. This next one is called Overcome.
Like a phoenix rising of a new horizon, speeding from that old infernal glow. Don't let the paralyzing panic fill your eyes. If we overcome the pain, we will grow. Forever humbling the path I chose, like running through the desert with my eyes held open. We measure suffering in ways they'll never know. The awful pain of lacerations that were self-imposed. I suppose I wouldn't have it any other way. Like a phoenix rising of a new horizon, speeding from that old infernal glow. Don't let the paralyzing panic fill your eyes. If we overcome the pain, we will grow. The gloom of winter left us spinning our wheels. The spring awoke to find us tempering steel. The summer heat impugned the meaning of it all. Anxiety is creeping, but the winner takes it all. Run or crawl,
moment. We're about to get an encore with The Flood on the grid for Sonic Scout Radio. Let's go. I just love how this one ends, man. It just, oh. It just takes your breath away, man. Major moment. Just, wow. I want to thank all the artists today from the Part 1 segment and the Part 2 segment. Joe Monroe, The Cost of Life. Make sure you get that $ in there. Autumn White, Midas 22, Coraland, and Major Moment. This is serious talent that is hidden out there. And you know what? Not so hidden. Some of them are on tour right now as we speak, but they're remaining independent and unsigned. Hats off to them. That gets the utmost respect here on both The Grid and Sonic Scout Radio as a whole. We want to see you, the artist, continue to just carry your brand. You don't need to go to a label. If you happen to go to a label, you know what? If that's what you want, just be careful. As an ex-artist myself, I just want to make it apparent to all of you out there. There's a book called All You Need to Know About the Music Business. I highly recommend it. The music industry is full of sharks. And, if you're not careful, if you don't have an entertainment lawyer, if you don't have the right team, you can get taken for a ride. You can lose the rights to your music. You hear stories. I mean, Michael Jackson, Prince, anyone who's worked with Diddy, they'll tell you first and foremost that, they've been taken for rides, and some of them, they had a mind for it, and others not so much. So, you'll always get a fresh outlook from Operator Lex here. And at the same time, we want to hear your music on Sonic Scout Radio. I want to hear it on the grid. Reach out to me, operatorlex at sonicscoutradio.com, or find me on any of the social media platforms. Be sure to check out the YouTube after parties, and thank you so much for drifting on with us through the grid. This is Operator Lex signing off. Until next time.